What's one uncomfortable truth candidate need to understand about getting hired in Europe?
So, language is the first uncomfortable truth. And the second most uncomfortable truth is
What are the top CV mistakes you see repeatedly, even among the experienced candidates?
there is nothing called as European standard
Oh,
format
okay.
CV. A
Mhm.
lot of people also think we have to make just one page resume in Europe. That is also incorrect.
Yeah.
Usually, one page resume has
How should candidate communicate to make impact instead of responsibilities?
they should give lot of real time project examples,
Mhm.
also add lot of data points, and in case if you're interviewing, then you should stick to the
So hello and welcome to globepravasi's another episode. So today's guest is Gurpreet Jaggi, head of global talent acquisition in Germany and founder of Careers in Europe. So basically, she hires across Europe, the US, and Asia and helps international candidates understand how hiring in Europe actually works. And today we will break down the real differences between Germany, the US, and India and what truly matters if you want to land and negotiate the right job in Europe. Hi Gurpreet, welcome to Globe Pravasi.
Hi, Shailendra. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's jump directly into the question. So my first would be like focus will be is like hiring in Europe, reality and expectations. What's one uncomfortable truth candidate need to understand about getting hired in Europe?
I would say two uncomfortable truths. The first one being language. So, in
Mhm.
case if you are looking for a job in Germany, then knowing German language is important, no matter whichever role you're looking for. And not only Germany, I also help people who are like in Spain, trying to find in Spain. So, even they need Spanish language, right? So,
Oh,
language is the first uncomfortable truth, I would
mhm.
say. And the second most uncomfortable truth is that having experience in the European job market. So somebody having 10 plus years of experience in India,
Mhm.
but now they are trying to find job here in Europe, but they don't have any experience in the European job market, and still that profile would not be considered as experienced as in India. So here hiring managers look for whether you have experience in the international market or say European market because
Mhm.
that is what they want. So these are the two most uncomfortable truths.
Thank you so much. From your experience, what separates applicants who break through from those who stay on and stuck?
People who start getting the interview calls here in Europe is basically the applicants who stick on one particular role or they are very relevant to the job description and
Mhm.
they have not mentioned everything and anything in
Mhm.
their resume.
Okay.
So that's the major difference I see between the resumes I see from other countries and the resumes that I see from the Europeans here, that they
Mhm.
are very clear and they stick to one role, right? If, say, for example, I'm hiring for a software engineer, then they're sticking to the software engineering experience and not adding lot of other things.
Yeah.
However, back in India and in the US, we are also, we perform lot of tasks. We get lot of
Yeah.
opportunities. We
Yeah.
end up doing lot of different things.
Yeah.
But now, if we start mentioning all that in the resume here, then the recruiters start getting confused.
Yeah.
That which role are you really applying for? Say a software engineer would have also done project management in one of the with one of the clients.
Yeah.
Now, this person in the resume has mentioned both project management and software engineering experience. But now
Mhm.
you are applying for a software engineer role. So now a recruiter is confused. What are you really looking for? Are you looking for project management?
Yeah.
Are you looking for software engineering?
Yeah.
So this is a major difference. In the US, the
Mhm.
hiring manager would appreciate that you have more knowledge.
Yeah.
In India, the hiring manager would appreciate you have more knowledge.
Yeah.
But here in Europe, they will get confused
Yeah.
that maybe they don't know what you want to do. You will get bored with software engineering because you've done
Yeah.
project management. So this is not the
Yeah.
right role for you. So that's
Mhm.
one of the major difference.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk about skill match and the CV clarity. So there are like always a big confusion. Like in India, I also come across many profiles that CV type in India is different, for the US is different, but the thing is European has their own unique. So what are the top CV mistakes you see repeatedly, even among the experienced candidates?
Actually, honestly, I'm telling you, I'm also part of a lot of HR groups. I talk to
Uh-huh.
other HRs. The format of the CV is not something that is standard. There is nothing called as European standard
Oh,
format
okay. Good to
CV,
know.
or there's nothing called as Europass CV. I mean, we
Mhm.
don't shortlist candidate if you have a Europass CV. All
Yeah,
that is something that is there in the market. People think what is important is the content of your CV,
yeah.
right? Like how
Mhm.
have you structured your CV? That is important. A
Mhm.
lot of people also think we have to make just one page resume in Europe. That is also incorrect.
Yeah,
Usually, one page resume has a lot of less information, and then it becomes difficult for the hiring manager and recruiter to really
yeah.
understand your experience,
Yes.
and it's more likely you are rejected. So,
Yeah,
having a 2 to 3 page resume is good, it's
yeah,
completely fine. But sticking to the relevant experience is important.
yeah.
Not adding long sentences, paragraphs, nobody will read
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Have short sentences, crisp sentences, stick to what is asked in the job description.
Yes.
Everything extra, don't write it or just reduce it. That is super important. Then, whether photo is important in the CV or not, it's actually not necessary. But if you're having a photo, then have a professional photo. If you're
Yeah.
having a selfie, then
Yeah.
definitely you will get rejected,
Yeah.
right? These are some important things. The
Yeah.
third I would say is having grammatical errors in your CV is complete no. So even if you're super technical, but you have spelling mistakes in your CV, you will get rejected, right? So these are some important things that people have to take care of. The
Yeah.
most important one being how well it is matching to the job description.
Oh, yeah. That's the key thing. Like, so it doesn't
Yes.
also has to match 100%. Let's say 80% would be fine.
Yes. 80% and above is completely okay. And
Yeah.
I will give you one more tip here. Say, for example, somebody is applying for, again, let's say software engineering. They're applying for a full stack developer role. And in
Mhm.
the CV, they have mentioned AngularJS and React.js.
Oh.
Now, this candidate has experience only in AngularJS and they
Mhm.
do not have experience in React.js,
Yeah.
but they have some knowledge of React.js or they have gone through some videos, then
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine. Mention in your CV knowledge of React.js.
Yeah.
Don't mention experience. You can easily mention knowledge. So in
Yeah.
that case, the hiring manager knows, okay, he has at least some basic knowledge and the person can be trained. But
Trained.
if
Yeah.
you don't mention React.js at all,
Yeah.
then there is another CV that has bit of React.js, then that person get preference. You
Okay.
see, so don't lie in your CV, but if you have basic knowledge, then
Mhm.
definitely mention knowledge of this skill. That will help you.
Yeah. So, how should candidate communicate to make impact and instead of responsibilities?
They should give a lot of real time project examples,
Mhm.
also add lot of data points, and in case if you're interviewing, then you should stick to the point, not overspeak. I see
Mhm.
this a lot in Indian candidates. I'm
Ah,
sorry, but even myself initially when I was giving interviews, I think mostly I got rejected is because I was over speaking, I was
yeah.
over explaining myself,
Yeah.
and that is not the habit how Germans talk. I'm sure you would agree. They
Yes.
stick to
Yes.
the point.
Yeah.
They talk. It could even be 4 words and they are done
Yeah.
because that conveys the message. But for us, that 4 words, we can sometimes have it in 40 sentences, and
Mhm.
then the recruiter and the hiring manager is just losing the interest. So
Yeah.
stick to the point, use short sentences, and
Yeah.
give impactful answers. And
Yes.
sometimes the answer to the question is just a yes or no. So
Yeah.
if they're asking you, do you have experience in cloud technologies? Then you can just say, yes, I have
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
If they want more details, then they will say, can you explain me one of the project
Yeah.
where you use
Exactly.
cloud?
Yeah.
Right? But
Yes.
what we do is we say, yes, in my previous project, I used cloud, and then I
Yeah.
was asked to learn this new technology, and then you go on and on, but
Yeah.
that's not required. If they're
Yeah.
asking you, do you have, just say yes or no. So
Yeah.
short sentences, practice that. That is super important.
Yeah, I think this is because of the cultural difference. So, like back in India,
Yes.
we have complete different culture, and here in Europe is complete different culture. So, if anyone is seeking for applying for a job directly from India to Europe, so this would be a key thing to hold yourself back from over explaining.
Yes.
Just try to talk to the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now let's talk about some from the point of view, I would say, recruiter's lens. So what actually happens behind the scenes after a candidate applies?
The first thing is that as soon as the candidate applies, we get the application, whether you apply through careers page or LinkedIn or different
Mhm,
sources, all the application comes to our hiring platform, which is also
mhm,
called as ATS. And then we see all the resumes together. So it's not that we see LinkedIn resumes differently, we
mhm,
see careers page resumes differently, but we definitely see the source from where this resume has
okay.
come, right?
Mhm,
And
yeah.
now we have to review all the resumes. So 2 years back, when I was hiring per job ad in the first week, I used to get around 20 to 30 resumes. Now, per job ad in the first week, I'm getting at least 100 resumes.
Oh,
So that tells you the competition that's there.
yes.
And I think for one job, I end up in the entire life cycle, I end up getting at least 500 to 600 resumes. Sometimes it even goes to 800 to 1000
Oh,
resumes per job ad in the today's market or the competition. Now, some of the companies have very new age ATS tools, so that helps
mhm,
in screening the resumes a bit, not that
mhm,
much. That tells, okay, this resume is matching 60%, this resume is 3 out of 5 star,
mhm,
and so on. But most of the companies here might be still using an old age ATS tool, which
mhm.
does not do the screening here that much.
Ah, okay.
And also, if you see sometimes when you get a rejection email, it will clearly say that a human has read your resume,
Oh,
because some of the companies here, say startups or some of the people, they want to put an effort from a human lens on the
mhm,
resume and not completely rely on the tool. You know
yeah,
how things are here,
yeah,
they don't completely rely on automation.
yeah.
They also want
Yes.
to read the resume. So basically, this first screening, either it happens with the help of the tool or the recruiter starts screening the resume. Now, say out of 100 resumes, the first thing the recruiter will do is quickly scan a resume because you can't read all the resumes in detail, 100. So you will quickly scan the resume. It's called 6 second to 10-second scan. So you will scroll down and you will try to see whether this resume is even slightly matching to the job description, because honestly saying, Shailendra, I get so many resumes that are completely, different than what the job description is. Everybody is just blindly applying, they just click and click on easy apply. So you get lot of irrelevant resumes. So now the recruiter has to quickly scan and shortlist few resumes and then say the shortlisted resumes, then the recruiter here in Germany reads each and every word in your resume, even from the top till the end. They will go in detail and they will read it, and then they will think whether now they want to give this person a call, or they can also share this resume with the hiring manager, and then the hiring manager say, yeah, the resume looks good, now give this person a call. So that is exactly what happens. In some startups, maybe the recruiter screening is not there directly, the hiring manager is screening the resume. That also happens.
My follow-up questions would be good that you told that it gets scanned in 6 to 10 seconds. But what if someone's resume is not ATS friendly, but the candidate is super very good for the organization? So in that case, is it the possibility that he is not get sorted because his resume was not ATS friendly?
It's not only about ATS friendly. It's if your resume does not capture right information, then yes, no matter how good you are, it might not get shortlisted. Resume is like the first thing the recruiters see about your experience.
Yeah,
And if you have just mentioned 4 sentences in your resume and not captured everything, then how would the recruiter know that you're good?
yeah.
Here, we don't get that initial screening call like we get in India, 10 minutes,
Ah,
quickly
yeah.
recruiter is calling on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to check, do you have this? That you
Yeah,
don't get here. You directly
yeah,
get a 30 minutes pre-screening call, which is a video Teams interview,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
So you need to make sure that your resume captures everything for it to get shortlisted. Otherwise, it won't.
Oh, okay. That's quite important because if someone is not friendlier with the ATS, so then guys, if you are looking for a serious opportunity in Europe, get used to it.
Yeah.
So the current market situation, if I keep Germany in front, the backbone like Mittelstand, they are struggling. So nevertheless, it's not like that. There are a couple of sectors, there are still high demand. So would you like to share us some industries where the hiring is right now going on and which ones are tightening? Do you have any overview in kind of?
In some cases, yes, I would say definitely initially IT was in high demand. It is still in high demand, but some part of IT would be replaced by AI. So I would say if you're in
Okay.
information technology, then
Mhm.
AI is super in high demand. A
Mhm.
lot of startups are coming in Germany and they are promoting AI, so that is important. The second one is cybersecurity, that is also super in high demand. The
Mhm.
third one being compliance. Now, when I say compliance, compliance say there is a new EU AI Act that would come into play, right?
Mhm.
So people who specialize in these domains, for them, it would be a good opportunity in future because a lot of company would need to get compliant as per EU AI Act. So if you
Yeah.
already know that skill set, it is in high demand. Then there are certain skills, again, the renewable sector still stays in high demand. So these are few sectors which I think are booming. I would just say one thing, that what has happened in Germany per se is few years back, if the company had a position, they used to just open the position
Yeah.
and then they used to hire.
Yeah.
Now they have become a little bit conscious about their hiring. So I
Yeah.
call this conscious hiring. Why they've become conscious? Because the economic condition, they're not sure because of the
Yeah.
Ukraine war
Yes.
and because of the inflation and so many other things. So they are not sure how the economy is going to go in future. So
Yeah.
they are not overhiring now. A lot of
Mhm.
companies did not think about this previously and they just hired. But
Yeah.
now when they have an open position, first they see, can somebody internally fill that position?
Yeah.
Do we really need this position? Can
Exactly.
this task be automated by AI? So they first think of all these things and then it goes to an approval process and then the position gets approved and then they hire. So
Yeah.
something called as conscious hiring. I would not say Germany is in recession, but they have become conscious about their hiring. That is why you see less open positions.
That's really good. And as you mentioned, like I think there is no need a separate discussion how AI is realistically affecting hiring today. So does in today's time recruiters are heavily dependent on the AI or still it is done manually?
No, it's not that much AI still
Mhm.
here in Germany. I mean, they might take help for, say, creating job descriptions, right?
Mhm.
And that's something that I think even candidates nowadays use help to create their resumes.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. Right now, AI is penetrated the hiring so much in Europe, where the screening and pre-screening happens through AI. Also, there is a very strict EU AI Act that says that AI cannot reject the
Mhm.
candidate.
Oh.
The rejection has to happen from a human only.
Yeah.
The AI can suggest whether this candidate, how much this candidate is fitting, something similar to the ATS, but much more advanced version of it. But an AI cannot reject the candidate.
Okay.
So in any case, AI will not replace hiring completely. A human eye has to review the resume, has to talk to the candidate and
Yeah.
take the final decision. The control you will always keep towards the human and not the AI tools.
Yeah.
So the candidate should not worry about it, at least in EU.
Mhm. That is a little bit of relaxing because now in every sentence in the job market, everywhere you hear AI. If someone is not familiar with AI, then he is already scared. So
Yeah.
that is a good part that in Europe it is such a way normalized that human has to be there.
Yes.
So Gurpreet, what should a non-European candidate should focus to get higher in Europe?
Well, the first thing you need to decide which country really fits according to your skill set. Every country requires different skill sets. So do a good amount of market research. You can easily go on LinkedIn, search for the job roles, and search which country hires the most according to your skill set.
Mhm.
That's the first thing. Narrow down the country. Once you've
Yeah.
narrowed down the country, then now start learning the language for that country. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like, I think that's the best thing you can do to yourself. You cannot escape that. No matter
Yeah.
how much you say, you cannot escape that.
Yeah.
So start learning the language. Then third, start, comparing your resumes with the international resumes. And
Mhm.
start making your resume in such a way that it is not just focused on the Indian market or your local market, it is focused as an international resume. Just a simple example of, say, if you are handling something related to accounting and you're handling a lot of finance. So instead of mentioning I handled a revenue of, say, 1 crore, say I
Hmm.
handled revenue of 1 million. Convert that
Yeah.
into dollars or
Dollar,
euros,
euros. Yeah.
so that makes your resume more international standard, right? Make sure that your resume is super international. It says that you have spoken to the
Hmm.
clients in Europe, EMEA, US, different countries, and
Hmm.
then just continue applying. Don't stop applying, because what I've seen is people get rejection and then they feel that the system is flawed and they will never get the call, and
Hmm.
then they start thinking a lot of different reasons why they are
Yeah.
getting rejected, and then they stop applying. But honestly, the truth here is that you have to keep on applying and you have to be dedicated. What I
Yeah.
see is once in a while on a weekend, somebody will see a YouTube video of Europe and now they will get excited and now they will
Yeah.
apply on that Sunday. And next 2 weeks, there is absolutely
Nothing.
nothing they're
Yeah.
doing. So that will not help you. If you're serious, you have to spend minimum three
Yeah.
hours per day on your
Yeah.
application. If you do that for 6 months, 8 months, you will get some positive
Yeah.
results, right? So I
Yeah.
think consistency is important, and
Yeah.
making sure that you have a very international resume, that's
Yeah.
important. And LinkedIn profile too, make sure you update your LinkedIn,
Yeah.
be active on LinkedIn, start networking on LinkedIn. All these things are important.
Yeah, because I also came across some of the people. They are like, Shailendra, I upload almost 300, 400, and the number in today's situation is keep on increasing. So someone was like with the 600 applications. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I have to respect him for his patience. So 600 applications, it's unimaginable. Thank you for such very important. This brings to the last segment of the video. So your journey. So, what was the toughest turning point in your career that shaped you coach candidates now?
Honestly, Shailendra, I was in a very good leadership position back in India. I was head of global talent acquisition for a
Uh-huh.
US-based MNC, over 800 employees, establishing different locations. So life was really going quite well and smooth. But I needed a little bit more challenges. And I thought, okay, I cannot live retirement life so soon. I'm earning well, I have everything, but still I need something more. And then I decided, let's go to Europe. In Europe, also Canada, also Australia. I was doing all my research. For some
Mhm.
reason, I came across Germany's job seeker visa and then I
Mhm.
applied for it. And
Oh.
then I decided, okay, I will take this leap of faith. So I
Mhm.
sold everything
Oh.
without knowing anybody in Germany. I just
Yeah.
literally came with one suitcase three
Yeah.
years back on a job seeker visa, landed in Berlin. And I think
Oh.
that's the toughest decision I've taken in my
Yeah.
life, because I didn't know German. I didn't know anybody. I
Yeah.
don't know how the job
Yeah.
market works here.
Yeah.
And then I started my journey of searching a job, and it was the most difficult task
Mhm.
even 3 years
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was looking for a job in HR, right? So
Yeah.
without knowing the language, looking a job in HR, I like everything was against me. I came during November, October, November. So
Wow.
everybody told
Winter.
me, go back. You've taken the worst decision of your life,
Yeah.
just go back, and this and that, such negativity around me. But I was very clear that this 6 months, I'm going to give my blood and sweat and I'm going to try everything. If
Yeah.
nothing works, then I will go back. But this 6 months, I will
Yeah.
not stop myself. So I took it very seriously. I applied for so many jobs, gave at least 40 to 50 interviews. And after
Mhm.
4 months, I ended up getting the job. And then I moved to Frankfurt.
Oh.
And my whole journey made me realize that there are so many gaps in how I thought the market is. And then I learned so many things. And then I started
Yeah.
hiring people. So now when I started hiring people, I understood how the things work inside the company here in Germany. And
Yeah.
that's when I decided that I needed help, but I had nobody to help me. So I decided to start Careers in Europe channel,
Yeah.
where I share a lot of insights and I just want to
Yes.
help people show industry insights. Also, as a candidate, I've gone through the same journey.
Yeah.
And just the focus is that even if one person gets a job because of our help, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah.
So
That's
that is what motivated me to start
Yeah,
Careers in Europe.
that's really good. I also started the YouTube channel. Only purpose was for the same. There are a lot of misinformation, I would not say, but everyone has their own journey. So
Yeah.
whole purpose of making this channel was like, people should make different mistakes. so I can share my mistakes so that they don't need to repeat.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's quite impressive journey. It's really hats off. Like it's quite challenging to start from scratch. On the screen, it seems really fascinating life. Like wow, it's in Germany. They are living in cities like Berlin, Frankfurt. But the reality, you don't get
Yeah.
accommodation even after sending 100 applications, and the pain behind
Yeah.
the scenes is quite hard.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. My last question will be like, what's one belief you changed about hiring as you moved into senior leadership?
I think, especially if I have to talk here in Germany, the
Mhm.
technical skills are important,
Yeah.
but the attitude and the cultural fit is more important. So
Yeah.
I would say that 40% of hiring depends upon your technical skills, but 60% is your cultural fit.
Yeah.
And here, especially in Germany, if you have mentioned in your resume, I know this skill, then they believe you. Then
Yeah.
they don't have to question anything
Yeah.
on that skill. Why they are interviewing you is just because that do you fit with the team or not, do you fit with
Yeah.
our culture or not. They might give you one or two technical interview questions, but mainly the interview is focused on the cultural fit. So no
Mhm.
matter how technically competent you are, but if
Yeah.
you are not a good cultural fit, you will not get hired.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't have a right attitude in the interview, you are maybe rude, or you are having a lot of you don't research about the company, you
Yeah.
just come very unprepared. So these are the
Yeah.
main reasons why you get selected. So I think
Yeah.
still, wherever you go in the world, the cultural fit is always more important than the technical fit.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for your time. So, Gurpreet's careers in Europe channel, I also visited several times for getting some tips to my tips for myself. I put the link of her channel in the description. You can visit there, and you can also DM her directly on in the comments, and she will try to answer your questions. It's really genuine information, and the whole purpose is like the filling the gap. So many people want to pursue abroad the jobs, but what happens due to the cultural differences, which I also experienced in my 13 years of journey in Germany, that many things are not simple as it seems. So
Yeah.
there is a very genuine information in on Gurpreet's channel. Please do visit. I keep the link in the description. And for such interesting topics, follow Globe Pravasi. See you until next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.